This is Tropics Watch. Good afternoon. This is Tropics Watch for September 15th, 2020. And we're going to be looking at Tropical Storm Hurricane Sally, I should say. Obviously, we can see the defined circulation there on satellite. We can see that near the center there, it looks like we have some mesovortices, near the center there, we can see, especially on the right side, we can see that there's more low-level shear, or where there's stronger, more concentrated and embedded downdrafts within that area. I'm going to keep a close eye on that, because we definitely have areas such as the eastern Alabama coast into the Florida Panhandle. That is where we're definitely seeing that concern. Some heavier showers and storms now tracking into much of this area. I think the more stormy activity is on the eastern side, where we're seeing all of that low-level shear and more concentrated embedded downdraft concerns, or where that air is kind of starting to mix in at the surface there, or start to mix in at the ground, the air from aloft. So when that is the case there, I think we're going to see a progressive kind of embedded tornado risk that may evolve out of this as we get ever so closer to landfall. And the concern that I have is that the new forecast track, I wouldn't really anticipate the center to be at the coast or making landfall. I will say that it may not be until tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to have a variety of impacts throughout the night. So we're going to all eyes do bear watching on that.
And it's moving so slow. So that's the problem.
Respond to the question about tornadoes spinning up. I mean, it's going to be progressive, but embedded.
It's possible.
So it's going to probably happen with time there. So
I think there's already a 5% tornado risk with this area too. So that answers that question.
So I mean, I think that as the center gets closer, there's going to be a little bit more of a pressure gradient, and I'll show you what I mean here coming up. And what my concern is with that is it's when we see that defined little pressure gradient, I think some of that air from just above the surface, where the winds are much stronger, kind of mixes in. There's stronger winds, and a lot of times that kind of leads to what we consider rear flank signatures, where obviously any energy at the surface could get picked up, and it could lead to an embedded spin-up tornado. I think low-level updrafts are highest along the east end there. You can see on satellite, the eastern end, that is where I think we have the more clearing. We can see some patches of clearing over here. That's evident of some of that energy that will allow for low-level weaker updrafts and whatnot. So again, that's generally on the right side and areas especially closer to the center there. And on the left side, we're definitely seeing kind of that spiraling downdraft kind of situation, where I think the training downdrafts, definitely the heaviest rain near the center is along and just west of there, northwest of there. We can see that we have a whole bunch of moisture, and obviously this is a brightness temperature. So through infrared returns on satellite. So when the brightness temperatures are that high, that means this is like, very thick moisture, and it's being picked up in terms of this high amount of brightness that's with there. So very thick moisture and very tall moisture as well, with very little mid and upper level shear to work with. So we have kind of the satellite data out of the way, and hopefully we kind of address the concern with the tornadoes potential with that as well. But this is the reconnaissance data from the mission earlier today. This is mission 11 that was deployed. Wish I had my UTC clock on here, but this would have been afternoon, probably, 1 o'clock or 1:21 Eastern time, if I'm reading that correctly. They got, we can see it got to the center there. We picked up a pressure between 975 and 980 millibars right there. Not even 20 minutes into the mission when they started returning the data. That's what we got there. So obviously flight level wind, or this is obviously the calm of the eye right there, where we can see it dip down and get right back up when the aircraft data was returning that. So, and then the mean sea level pressure, obviously 975. That's pretty, that is the lowest pressure we've indicated with this so far, I believe. And then we can see the flight level winds. Looks like we're picking up, yes, maximum sustained winds, if I'm correct. This is translating to about 80 miles per hour up here.
So that is very strong winds.
Well, yeah, so I mean the sustained wind, I mean the NHC has projected somewhere around 85 miles per hour winds. And I will point out that I think that in terms of intensity, I'll show you guys what I mean here. I think we're kind of stable. I mean, I think that now we're not necessarily talking Cat 2 strength, but I'll show you guys what I mean. Obviously, the system is organized over shallower water. It's no longer over the open Gulf waters. So, I mean, that's where the warmest water is. The more organized convection, evaporation, and all that stuff is happening where the higher sea surface temperatures are. So, I mean, I think that I would not necessarily assume maybe we could get to high-end Cat 1. I think the chance of getting to Cat 2 is a little bit lower now, just given the afternoon intensity guidance. We're now looking
but even
like, I mean, if Mission 12 can identify some lower pressure in there, I mean, I think that confidence may kind of, it'll kind of help me to identify whether there could be even more of a concern for that. And then here's the reconnaissance Mission 12. Or that's, yeah, here's Mission 12. Obviously, it looks like this one's been deployed right around like 3 o'clock or so. Obviously, we haven't been getting any significant data from here yet. It's been more spread out. We'll keep checking in on recon and such. So as we can see, this is kind of where our peak intensity is. Like very, very weak intensification and progression there. I mean, still a progressive embedded tornado risk, but definitely significant rainfall nevertheless. So while Category 1 is, at least, well, it's Category 1 right now, so we know for certain this will end up landfalling as at least a Category 1. I think that maybe a lot of times these scatter plots are slightly underdone. Maybe it could be a little bit higher end, but I think that from here, I think 85 has been our I think our maximum sustained winds overall with Hurricane Sally. So I'm gonna pull up the NHC advisory data here while I get the chance. So, or rather, I should just look on here. It has it right there. Oh yeah. Now maximum sustained winds are down a little bit. It was at 85. Now it's back at 80. So I mean that is less than it has been. So I think now it's enduring some slight weakening.
And see, we got more hurricanes out there too, don't we? We got Teddy and we got Vicky, don't we?
Yeah, we have Hurricane Paulette. Teddy and Vicky are tropical storms.
Are they moving towards the Gulf?
Yeah, they're on mostly open water. I mean, this is the Atlantic, the open Atlantic. These are I don't think none of these pose a major threat to the United States in the short term. All we got to worry about is Sally right now, and then this has 5-day very low chance of development just off of the Mexican Gulf Coast, of course. I mean, obviously, the Africa wave train has been very busy. We got waves that have been forming off of Africa. Where obviously these are the tropical latitudes, hence the tropics. So I mean, we're past the peak of summer. Where while June 21st is the solstice, where our hemisphere, the Tropic of Cancer, that is the point that is closest to the gets the longest daylight and incoming solar radiation. That's one part. But I think, well, of course, now we're just past the equinox, or getting close to the autumnal equinox in our hemisphere, which this is 0 degrees north. So obviously, this is an area where there's still plenty of solar radiation, lots of long wave radiation and energy still around, and we have these ocean currents around here that are that continue to drive that warmer ocean water off of the Atlantic coast. So that kind of explains why some of these disturbances are well into the temperate latitudes, obviously well north over here. So this is at 40 degrees north latitude, Paulette, and that is obviously looks like. Yeah, maximum winds are at 100 miles an hour. So I think this is high in Cat 1, low in Cat 2 strength, perhaps, Paulette. And obviously looks like it may impact the tip of Newfoundland, some of the Canadian provinces up here, but I don't necessarily think we're expecting a direct sustained landfall over any of these areas. But again, definitely a concern for open waters between the interior northeast United New England into Europe. We have a lot of this stuff to work with, so
we still have to watch it though.
Yeah, this system bears watching. Looks like this will likely end up with the name Wilfred, if I'm right.
Wilfred.
Yeah, so we have Teddy and Vicky. We skipped you. I think that we're also, I think the W name is the last one. And we did have that question a little bit ago from Austin here. We are running out of names for hurricanes. So I will kind of explain the situation with hurricane names. This is 2020, of course. This is kind of comparable to 2005. This is on track to be the obviously, we're getting well into the mid and upper 20s somewhere in terms of how many named storms we have gotten. And skipping U, that W is the 23rd letter of the alphabet. So this would be at least the 22nd. And I think even more than just that. So once we get to the 24th named storm, when they can't come up with any more X names, because there's so little names you can use that you don't want to reuse names like Katrina. You don't want to reuse Katrina or any of those names. A lot of those names have been retired for that particular reason.
Katrina was the worst hurricane we went through.
Well, yeah, that's 2005, and this is kind of comparable to that. We have. I think that, this is 1, 2, 3. This is 4 named storms, and then 7 tropical circulations we have out here. So I think that this is the second time in recorded history that we've had this many at once. So this is definitely a rare occasion for the Atlantic, seeing all of these. I think the ocean currents are in full swing, and we got plenty of prevailing winds that are driving these systems, a little shear to interact with development and whatnot. I think the highest shear is in the areas closer out to Africa. That is kind of causing, not as much distinct circulation at the mid and upper levels with storms like Teddy and Vicky, but we'll have to see if any of these systems do bear even closer watching, if we do see any rapid further intensification out of any of these systems. But I would anticipate that with some of these systems in closer proximity to each other, and with, I think, the good pressure gradient, and obviously we have higher ocean temperatures out here, so I mean, we could definitely see storms like Teddy and Vicky kind of follow a similar track pattern like Paulette. And I believe the situation with Teddy is that if we do see kind of these other waves out here in Mexico, I think that leads me to think that maybe Teddy and Vicky could track across the Bahamas, Cuba, Dominican Republic at the very least, or maybe out towards Leeward Islands. I mean, this is about 5+ days out. We don't know for sure what the track is going to look like, but definitely something that bears my watching here. And yeah, in the meantime, let me just check that. So in terms of current storms, obviously we have Paulette that bears watching. I think Teddy, yeah, it looks like we have, we can see that we have a more defined circulation on the southern end. Yeah, it looks like that one's going to have a more northward track. It's in ocean water, and just looking at this intensity guidance, it has a shot of at least Cat 2, maybe Cat 3 strength. What I'm seeing here, the outputs, and I think the rapid intensification over water is something that we got to really watch out for. And
you really have to watch that.
Yeah, and obviously in terms of track, looks like yeah, we're getting more of a northward track. I kind of stand corrected there about, I think it was another system that normally when you see systems off the Africa wave train, I think a lot of times you see varying track and stuff, obviously because of mid and upper level shear that and pressure that kind of dictates if a wave kind of drives, it's driven by a current or anything like that. Yeah, looks like that is going to, looks like, you know, since this is over the ocean currents that are being driven from the colder water up here, looks like this is where peak intensity is going to be over open water, and it's going to be more of a stable decline in intensity, maybe another peak up there. But I mean, with less and less warm water to work with, we may still see tropical characteristics, even hurricane conditions persist well after. So, I mean, this could still be a hurricane over the next several days by next week. But I mean, right now it's just tropical storm. So Teddy bears watching for you interests along the central North Atlantic. Vicky is another system, a little bit more circulation's not as organized with this. Looks like looks like this one's going to weaken to a depression. There's not as much. Obviously, there's too much. There's too much shear and stuff at the mid and upper levels to allow this system to develop any further. I think it's because of some of the upper level energy that may be clearing that are in the wake of some of these other disturbances that have been over the area. So I mean, and maybe the sea surface temperatures are slightly lower as well. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. But yeah, it looks like Teddy and Paulette have been the other two over the open Atlantic that we're worried about. And we have, I'm going to look at Invest 99. And obviously that is, that's in off of Spain. 98L. I'm trying to see which one is off of Africa. Oh yeah, this is off of Africa right here.
Yep.
If I'm reading this right. Oh, I see. This is the projected track after a defined period. But yeah, looks as if we are expecting 98L to become a depression, maybe a storm, but this doesn't really look like it bears too much watching for in terms of United States impacts at the moment here. And wow, this is. I wonder what continent that is. Is that North America? That kind of looks like it's off of Africa or east of the Prime. So not every. Oh, I see. This is W. If you see a W on there, that means it's not likely to develop. But L means it is likely to develop. So yeah, I mean, obviously, more of our concern goes to Sally, of course. So definitely still looking at. I think this is a little bit newer what we're seeing on here. I think some patches of clearing are developing out of there. I think that'll increase the tornado threat at the low levels.
I think it will.
At the east end.
Probably definitely see a new tornado watch, probably, won't we?
Yeah, I think
this one runs through 6 p.m., so I bet we'll give it 30 or 40 minutes, and they'll probably upgrade to a new watch, probably to go through several more hours, right?
Well, I mean, it is possible. Just, I think it's going to be a more progressive risk throughout the night, so it may be another long fused watch. I haven't gotten any more
because this is not going to be no. This is not going to be no big outbreak or anything. I just think you'll get this tornado spin-ups that quickly spin up and they gone. So this is why you definitely want to have your plan in action and make sure you have your weather radios going, your flashlights. Just have a way to receive warnings, right, Isaac?
Yeah, right. And with the system
not going to have time
ever so slowly, even though it's over shallow water, it has it won't necessarily develop into a major hurricane or anything. It's just stalling out over shallow water, the circulation with that. So I mean, it probably won't intensify much further in terms of strength, in terms of hurricane strength or anything. But we do definitely expect that. Hold on, whoops. My mouse isn't really working that good. Yeah, so I mean, I do expect, while it's over shallow water, it probably won't intensify much, but we're still seeing a very thick layer of moisture that is being returned on there. So, I mean, spiraling down drafts and more stalling out. I think we got little renegades popping up on the outer bands, isolated storms further north that are kind of making onset. But obviously, as the system tracks, I think more of a slightly eastward motion, and obviously, I think northeastward motion. Obviously, that'll kind of increase the threat the further east you get into tomorrow. And I believe we got another front out out in the we got a cold front that is eventually going to push through the Midwest into the Tennessee Valley. I think that is going to kind of increase the motion with this and the low level shear. So I mean, I think the tornado threat is going to be higher, especially heading into, I think, later tomorrow into I believe Thursday. There may be a foreseeable risk for some storm activity.
So I know a lot of people, but anybody just needs to know. I mean, if you go bed early tonight, have a plan in action, have a weather radio, and I think you'll get through this as best you can, right, Isaac?
Yeah, and then obviously we'll those
stand by in case we need to.
Yeah, for those near the coast, definitely pay attention to the amount of rainfall that will occur locally in your area, because obviously
never drive through a flooded roadway.
I mean, definitely still some life-threatening storm surge along the coast with the pressure gradient we saw, especially just looking at the data on Recon 11. The sea level pressure has been fluctuating pretty good. And I think if you get a good pressure gradient, especially some of that that occurs over the more shallow
All right,
water.
Isaac.
I
I
think
just got something that
increasing
came
wave
into my.
erosion and everything will still be a concern. But obviously, as the system stalls out, we're definitely going to be looking at significant rainfall totals. Some areas across, especially areas closer to the coast, I think the much of the interior panhandle of the Florida coast, and I think the Alabama coastal counties, some of those could experience, like, again, sustained 15 to 20 inch totals of rainfall at the very least. And obviously, thunderstorms will potentially produce even heavier amounts in excess of locally 25 to maybe 30 inches in some areas, but it's going to be
New
mostly
tornado
areas
watch.
closer to the coast.
95% of the tornado watch being issued.
Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing. I was going to check in with the SPC about mesoscale discussion and analysis there. And it looks as if, like I said earlier, I think we got more low-level energy to work with. Just looking at the new satellite reports that I'm seeing there, and definitely some good mesovortices I'm seeing popping up on there. I think we're going to see potentially some more. I'm going to see if we have any special marine headlines or anything new. There's the National Weather Service Doppler radar. We got a good visual of the eye, some of the mesovortices and low-level shear that we got going on. Looks like we got some report. Oh, yeah, tropical storm. Oh, okay. I see. That is gust to 54.
So that's still enough to start toppling trees down and actually cause some power outages. So you definitely want to have some flashlights with you. Don't let
Yeah,
your guard down, folks. Please do not let your guard down on this, because even if we even see just a Category 1 hurricane still can cause significant damage and significant, problems, right?
Yeah. We're going to try and see if we do have any webcam data, I think closer to the eye, kind of see if we get a visual of anything there. Obviously, it's a third-party service, so I don't know if we're going to be able to fetch any of that data at this point in time. But we do have no special marine or tornado warnings at the moment. That'll probably change fairly soon. We will update you via post feed as we need to. Yeah, I guess with the developments of Sally, we're going to continue to. I'm going to look at recon data, see if there's anything new. But there's that. I already closed out. Whoops, current. My mouse is not moving that good.
So definitely have a way to get warnings tonight. Make sure you know where to go. Me and Isaac will go StreamYard if we go under any tornado warnings, right?
We'll update by post feed. If we are, obviously we are in the level 2 feed condition, so it is possible I may do another night feed, video feed. I'm not really sure about the developments. It just depends on who's available to anchor and whatnot. Here, I'm trying to look for. Oops. My mouse isn't working that good.
I can help you anchor for a little while.
I appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to do Facebook Live to cover any new developments, that would also be helpful.
And you can help me too, okay?
Sure. Oh, here we are. Looks like mission 12. I'm going to pull this up. Looks like we're getting some data finally.
I'm getting some reports too to pass along to you. I'm on GR level 3. We're starting to get reports of roads being flooded near 4th Street and JENKS arrival. So that street is flooded down there, and that's down there. And see, we're getting a lot of places that are underwater. So I mean, please, if you see water trying to cross this, do not go cross it. You're not going to make it. It just takes 8 gallons of water to suck your car away, right, Isaac?
Yeah, definitely. And I will point out that again, just from what I'm seeing here, and whatnot, looks like we're starting to kind of get in with the action here on reconnaissance um, flight number 12 throughout Sally here. So we're definitely seeing some heavier rainfall being indicated there. It looks like we got condensation occurring right here where the temperature matches the dew point. So we're starting to get in with more of that moisture there. The recon's getting in there. So definitely some thicker moisture in there, spiraling down drafts near the center on the west end, and then some of the more clearing patches and low levels here on the east end that will lead to the tornado concern. So definitely does bear watching here. And then just looking at the recon data there, looks like we're starting to get on that action. I'll continue to monitor this and keep refreshing this page often. Oh yeah, we're looking at the mean sea level pressure. I want to keep a close eye. It looks like we're getting closer to the eye. I'm going to see if I can keep refreshing this. I wonder how. I wonder what the refresh rate is, because since they just started sending out data, looks like we're in the rapid descent there. We're going to try and see if we have any sub 980 pressure numbers this time, because mission 11 did pick that up. I think with mission 12, I think the system may be slightly weakening, but I mean, you can't necessarily tell. Well, maybe there could be a little bit lower pressure at the center, and obviously the sustained winds may be slightly higher, definitely with much higher gusts as well, because just because it's over shallow water doesn't mean it's going to rapidly weaken and spare us of impacts. We're still looking at significant hurricane impacts in terms of the wind as well, especially close to the center.
So you definitely don't want to be. Here's another thing I'm going to put out, everybody. You definitely, if the winds would calm down just a hair, I mean, you definitely would still see all the rain we've been having. It's going to start toppling trees down because the roots cannot hold that much water, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because if the roots don't hold water, then I mean, yeah, we could start seeing larger trees starting to fall. And
so do not go on the road and start taking pictures. And do not be going on the road unless you have to, and start taking pictures of any debris, because nobody wants to come out there and rescue you. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. Do not go through power lines either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. So, yeah, so again, we are definitely sending our thoughts to those being impacted. Please continue to monitor our page for updates. This has been our Tropics Watch for today, 9/15. We do expect we may do another segment later tonight, just pending any new developments. And please stay tuned to video feeds. We will continue to keep everyone updated. This is USA Storm Watch, Illinois Storm Watch, and our partner pages. Please stay tuned for updates, and we will see you soon.